Dude, it actually runs and drives. Holy shit.
First drive. Oh. I've never had a video of this that wasn't in my garage.
When you floor it, it pops your eardrums. Oh, I can't.
I don't have my hearing aid on. What the hell do you want?
We're back on the baddest Honda CRX on the planet. 500 horsepower Chevy V8, airbags, custom frame, rear wheel drive. In this video, I really want to try and take this thing for its first drive ever. I got a bunch of parts in. I got the rest of the brakes to finish up. I got the airbag controller, exhaust wrap, shifter. I got a throttle, I got a pedal, all that goes on. Also, I have a little handy dandy new water neck because my radiator's too low. So if I put that in there, that will definitely cancel out any air in the system because it's not, now that's going to be the highest point where you fill from. So that's really good. We're going to change that out. Then I think I'm going to finish up on the rear brakes. I have brand new rotors, brand new calipers, everything. I already did that on the front, so I want to do that in the rear. I also have brand new hoses for it, and I can get that all switched out. Then we can run our brake lines, and we should have our brakes there. Master cylinder is already mounted, but I think I have to tweak it a little bit because I'm not sure I can get the lines on where it's at. We're gonna have to adjust that a little bit, but shouldn't be no big deal. And then hopefully throw this thing in gear by the end of the video, see if we can't take her for a little spin. This will be the first drive on this. This has been months and months of work. Obviously, a giant motor in a tiny little front-wheel drive car has been challenging to say the least, but I have all the parts I need to finish it. Now that's left is just, you know, the 100 or so hours that I'm going to put in this video to hopefully make it happen. So let's get rolling, baby. This is my favorite tool ever. I think Dad's had this my entire life, basically. This is called the Tough Girl. It's like a 9-pound slide hammer. I drew a bikini on her a couple years ago. You know, you want to keep it friendly here on the YouTube app. But it's just the best tool ever, and I love it. It feels really good in the hands, you know? That's the best part about it.
Boy.
And she does have a butt. I didn't realize that until just now. All right, let's get this rotor off. This was a lot rustier than I thought. Look at all this shit that fell out. Ooh, that's why we're going all new, baby. Bada bing. Oh, there's so much rust that came out of there. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, I got the rear brakes on. And it turned into a shit show real fast. They sent me the wrong rotors. These are for a 4-wheel drive Blazer, not a 2-wheel drive. I had a feeling they were a little too deep dish, but the rears on these, even the 2-wheel drives, they have a pretty good dish on them, but it's not that big. So those don't work. I'm like, okay, I can still get going. Then I realized I have 2 passenger side calipers. So this caliper's wrong. It still goes on there, but now my bleeder's pointing down instead of up. So I called up the parts store. They're going to get them switched out, but it's going to take a day or so. But that's fine. I can still do all my brake lines. Nothing is going to change as far as where the brake lines go. So that is what we're going to get started on now. I already made one right here. I always shout this out every time I use it. I bought this off Amazon. It was not a sponsored thing. Brake line tool. Get one of these. It's like 180 bucks, 150 bucks maybe. It makes perfect flares every single time. I used to do the old $10 one where you have to slide the thing over and screw it down. I would always mess those up, so I wouldn't use them. I'd just buy pre-bent lines. They were always wrong, yada yada. Anyways, get you one of these. We're gonna whip up some brake lines real quick and then start messing with the master cylinder because I believe I think it's in the right spot, but I might have to move it to get to the back of it so I can get the lines in. But let's make the lines first. Now the first thing you gotta do whenever you're making new brake lines is make sure you put the fittings on backwards. The good news is I already did that, so we got that out of the way. Now that they're on right, This is how quick this is. 1, operation 2, and you're done. Perfect flare every single time. Bada bing. Focus, you stupid camera. Well, I promise it's perfect. All right, brake lines are all done. Front to back, very happy about that. Also, ran to the parts store. I have the right caliper now and also 2 brand new rotors. So I'm gonna throw those on and then the brakes will be finished. I don't think I'm gonna try and bleed them by myself. I technically could, but I think I'm gonna just start working on the shifter. I need everything too. There's nothing on this transmission. Doesn't have the shift lever, all that have to make, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass. But I think I'm gonna finish up the brakes and then have Dad help me bleed them tomorrow. So let's get these rears swapped out real quick and then we can get on the shifter. Brakes are done. I went ahead and made sure everything was tight, so tomorrow we can just come in, get the old man in there, start pumping it, get them bled, good to go. Got the transmission kit opened up, and naturally, even though this was a very expensive shifter, it's kind of semi-universal. So it can go on there however you want, which is not great, because when you look at the instructions, it's like, hey, you want to use that hole? Use that hole. You want to use that hole? Whatever you want to do. So we're going to have some fun with this puzzle. I should be able to figure it out. I think I've installed 2 of these, and I don't remember how I did either of them, so that's great. But yeah, let's get in there, get going. Shifter is in. I still need to make adjustments to the linkage, but it is in. It is very solid. Took a while figuring out all the brackets since it's a universal one. Some of them use the same brackets, but you got to flip it upside down, all kinds of fun shit. Also, shifter is way too tall. That's quite big. The reason I did that was for some reason this super tall shifter was like $60 cheaper than the normal size shifter. So I said, screw that, I'll do that and then buy another shifter down the line. I can buy a shifter for $20 or I can cut that one down if I want to. You know, either way, it was worth it, but it looks hilarious. Almost touching the ceiling. It'll work for now. Tomorrow I'm gonna come in, get my linkages all dialed in real good, and get Dad to bleed the brakes, and we'll hopefully throw it in gear and see what the hell happens. I'm getting excited! Can't make this shit up. Dad came in, we start bleeding the brakes. Everything's looking good. I have a leak in the back. Can't get the bleeder open, and the other side is leaking. I'm going, what is going on here? The bleeders are cross-threaded in there and seized. It took a 1/2-inch impact to get this one out, and the bleeder's just completely shot. And then the other side, we can't even get it out. It's in there so tight, it just spun, stripped it out. It's all shit. Couldn't believe it. When I got this one out, I'll find the bleeder and show it to you, but the bleeder is just shot. I mean, it's just, there's basically no threads left because it's wrong. So I don't know if it's metric and they put a standard bleeder in there or vice versa, but neither of these work. They're just leaking like crazy, which is awesome when you're bleeding brakes. So I called O'Reilly's. They have 2 more. I'm going to go down there. Hopefully the 2 new ones don't have the same problem as these, but I got to pop these off now to take them back, which is a bitch. I'm not taking the brackets off because that's a whole other pain in the ass. They can just fuck off with the brackets. So we're going to take those down there, and I'm damn sure going to test the new ones in the freaking store and make sure they're not the same damn way. So good times. Let's get these off. Okay, got the new calipers, because I think that's the 3rd time I had to get them. And sure enough, one side came with the wrong banjo bolt, so it wouldn't tighten down all the way. Luckily, I had a banjo bolt left over from one of the other ones that I didn't return, so got those fixed. Shifter is 100% done and working. Looking good. Way too tall, but we're not going to deal with that yet. I also had new tie rod ends that needed installed. I got those put in as well. I think what I'm going to do now is get my ignition wired up, because all the times that I've started this, I just had a push button, and I want to actually have a key. So we're going to do that right now, so that hopefully whenever we go to take our drive, we can just turn it on, turn it right back off. So let's do that. Me and Dad just got the brakes bled, double checked the shifter, it is working, steering's perfect. I got the key all wired up. I am going to weld this just to that roll bar right there, just for temporary purposes. And I think we can fire it up and maybe throw it in gear and see what the hell happens. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I think we're good to go. All right, let's do that shit. Alright, I need that good enough to not fall off, but not too good. Whenever I get the dash on, I can cut it out, so that'll work for now. Alright, let's test out our key. I think I'm low on gas is my only problem. There's some in there, but not much. Feeling a little pressure, but not as much as it needs. Let's see what happens. Throttle hooked up, I think. It should be in gear right there, though. I'll tell you what, let's scoot this over here. See if I can give it gas and make it move. Check the transmission fluid, because something should have happened there. I definitely need more gas and more transmission fluid, but I think I got enough in there to make something happen. It moves though, yes! All right, it runs, it drives, it stops. That's pretty damn awesome. Certainly not ready to go yet. I'm low on transmission fluid. I'm very low on gas. There's barely any gas in it, so it's not even really building up the fuel pressure it needs. We also need to get a plug for this overflow on the old radiator cap, because now that this is going to be our new one, as soon as I fill this up, that's just going to start spilling everywhere. So got to get some stuff. Need to get a pedal throttle hooked up, because right now I have no way to do that inside the cab on the carb, which won't work for a drive. And we still obviously need to get the seat mounted. But very, very productive day. I should be able to hopefully knock all that out tomorrow, and we'll throw her on the ground and see if we can't take it for a spin. Four-wheel disc brakes is really nice. They are super, super good. We kind of tested it a couple different times, me and Dad, and whenever you just barely put your foot on the pedal, none of these will move. So really, really happy to have nice brakes. That's something we don't do often on our first drives. Sometimes we kind of half-ass the brakes, but this one will actually be good. So very, very good day. Hopefully tomorrow we get everything knocked out and we take our first spin. But I'm going to bed.
The next day.
Okay, throttle and pedal is done. I didn't have any brackets for it, so I had to make everything. But as you can see, this is all working perfectly. Got the pedal in there. Now, I think my brake pedal is too high, but just in case the throttle's too low, it's easier to raise up. Most likely, I'm gonna have to order a new brake pedal that's like 6 inches shorter than that. It's gonna work for now for the first drive, but very happy with how this came out. Sweet. I need to mount the seat now, and I'm trying to do it without making the entire floor, because I don't want to make the entire floor yet. I just want to get the seat mounted. The floor is going to be a whole other can of worms, so I'm just going to work on getting the seat mounted so we can hopefully take it for a drive. So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's keep going. Throttle, pedal, all that took way longer than it should have. Everything is so tight in this car. It's almost like it's a tiny car with a giant, way too big of an engine. But let's get this seat in here. Seat is mounted. Oh, thank God that's over with. Seat is mounted. Throttle is done. Brakes are done. Steering is done. It's time to put the wheels on. Top off the fluids. Obviously, I need to fill up the radiator fluid from there. That's going to be a hell of a difference from where it was. But other than that, I'm getting this thing on the ground. I got gas, I got trans fluid, and I got radiator fluid to put in it. But we can go ahead and put the wheels back on, get her on the ground, and hopefully tomorrow I'll fire it up and drive it. I'm getting excited. It is the middle of the night. I'm tired as shit, but I want to get it on the ground. All right, it has gas, it has trans fluid, everything is topped off, good to go, on the ground. We have a seat, we have brakes, we have steering. Definitely need to do some work on the alignment in the front. Might have to tweak basically how the steering is, because I have way too much bump steer with how much lift the airbags have, but that's a problem for another day. Tomorrow we're gonna come in here, throw the battery in it, fire it up, hopefully take it for a drive. I am exhausted. This has been a very long week getting this thing. I've probably said it before. I'm sure you've heard other people say it, but like the last 5% of every build takes longer than the first 95%. Like just crazy how much stuff. And I'm not even done yet. I don't even have a floor or any of that, but making the seat mount, making the pedals work, all that's just been a train wreck. I still got to fit a dash in this thing, but either way, hopefully tomorrow we drive. I am going to bed. All right, we're gonna start slow. Actually, I put a little air in the front. Woo. We're not going crazy off the bat. We're just gonna go forward and backward, hopefully. Oh gosh. Well, it's tight in here. We definitely need to move these brakes. The fuck was that? What happened? Why are you not running? I don't like that metal chatter we got there. Might be my mount. I think it's low on transmission fluid again. It technically moved. Didn't go far though. I think I know what the chattering is. People told me whenever you had a front mount and a rear mount, sometimes the transmission will flex. I think that's what's going on. Good thing I'm a little bitty skinny guy and not like 6'2", 250 fucking pounds. Dude, it actually runs and drives. Holy shit. It runs and drives. I was gonna drive it back up here, but I want to take video of it down in the parking lot. Oh shit, I need to find my air bubble. First drive. We definitely got some bugs to work out, but we knew that was gonna happen. So, I was trying to talk earlier when the engine was running. You might not have heard me. I had to change this to a front engine mount. So it mounts way up here in the front instead of the middle of the engine. And I had a couple guys, like drag race guys, who have to do that. They told me whenever you have a front mount, you can't have a tail mount because there's too much like pressure, basically where the transmission bolts. You need to run little side mounts coming off of there. So I'm definitely gonna have to add those because I feel like it's flexing a little bit, and that's the noise I'm hearing. Because every now and then I'll have a little bit of chatter, and you can tell it's like flywheel. I thought at first maybe the starter needed shimmed, and it might still, but it's definitely not that. So we're not gonna go too crazy, obviously. We weren't anyways. It's first drive. Holy shit, man. I'm so fucking happy. I'm shaking. I love the chassis swaps. Chassis swaps are my bread and butter, but doing something like this, when you just basically build everything from scratch, it is very rewarding whenever you get to finally drive it. I got all new lights, I got all new everything, new fenders and shit for it. We're gonna have some fun whenever we go to paint this one, but that's a ways down the road. Cool, man. All right, let's hop in and take her back. Might have to do a burnout. I mean, we always gotta do a burnout. We might have to do a burnout. First drive. Holy shit. I've never had a video of this that wasn't in my garage. Holy shit, that's cool. Alright, let's see if we can't get her home. It was here in the parking lot for, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes. I had 6 people stop. Oh, drop the fucking camera too. What a shit show that was. Please tell me I didn't hurt my fucking $4,000 camera. Are you okay, baby?
you're fine. You're not happy, but you're fine. I didn't want to jump that curb, but I was worried I wasn't gonna make it. Oh shit. Whew. Running like shit. Oh, when you floor it, it pops your eardrums. Oh, I can't hear.
Oh, I just hear a humming. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I can't hear. Can't hear at all. I'm not joking. I don't know if I'm talking loud or quiet. Oh, shit. That's all the burnout we're doing today, because we got to fix some shit. Oof. Cannot even explain to you how happy I am. Obviously, we have some issues that need worked out. I talked to Dad about the transmission maybe flexing, and he said, do you have a rubber mount on there? And I said, no, I think it's a solid mount, or it's not a very flexible rubber mount, if that makes any sense. I think it might be like one of those polyurethane ones that are hard as hell. So that could be some of it. Also, the transmission mount is just sitting there. It's not welded in. So maybe some of that is causing flex. I think it still could be that we have a mount all the way in the front and all the way in the back and nothing in the middle. But we're gonna change a couple things, see what happens. If I need to, I can add a mid mount. Won't be the end of the world. I just can't have it where a stock mount is. There's no room. But they make a mount that goes way back on the back of the engine, kind of towards the transmission. If I have to, I will add one of those. But other than that, running and driving great. Could not believe how good the burnout was. I got a little worried because whenever you punch it, it's so loud with these headers that I just blew my eardrums instantly. Could not hear anything, so I let off of it. I think it could have just went all day. Also, I was like 50% sure this had a posi track in it because it's a rear disc brake out of like an S10 Blazer. A lot of those are posis, but you never really know. Sure enough, I watched the video back. Both tires are spinning all the way up the alley, so that is super, super cool. I just can't believe we are finally here. This has been a very long project. I'm certainly not done by any means, but to actually take it for its first drive is huge. Anybody that's ever built a car, first drives are always big, you know, monumental things that make you super happy. Whenever you've built everything from scratch, essentially, you know, a motor that should not be in a car this size, so everything was really hard. I'm just stoked. Also, I do all this shit myself. I'm a one-man show here, so yeah. Couldn't be happier. I'm just giddy like a schoolgirl. So yeah, hopefully you guys like it. Obviously, we're not done. We still have a lot more stuff coming up. Stay tuned for all that. We are working on a ton of projects right now on the channel. If you aren't sticking around, do it. I got a badass 50 Chevy on a 2008 Pontiac that we're doing. My 69 Blazer is going to be coming back in the shop right now. We're going to swap the transmission out. We got to do a couple things. Hopefully going to be taking it for its first drive in the next week or so too. So stay tuned for all that. I have a giveaway going on right now for my 1966 Mustang that's on a BMW chassis. Go to Caseyscustoms.com for all the details on that. Also, coolest merchandise on the planet. Go to Caseyscustoms.com. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they tell you to do in the videos, and check out some more of my other videos. Peace. I love you.